Architectural Builder's Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Customer of mine, I'm a handyman. I have a customer of mine that has a swinging door that had to be removed for moving a desk into a room. And then when the people that removed the door put it back on, they put it back on such that it wasn't working properly. I took the thing apart, and from what I could tell, based on several of the videos you made and some other research online, that it looks like it's a 7800 series Bommer horizontal spring pivot hinge. And the issue I'm having right now is that, as I understand, the door is supposed to swing to the closed position unless you push it to the remaining 15 degrees. Then it should stay open on one side or the other. Is that correct?
No, not as a blanket statement, because you said 7800 series, and there are those in that are non-hold open.
Okay. This one appears to be one of the hold open types.
Okay.
It's like 50, 60 years old. I can't see any. It's caked in, grime and dust and stuff over the years. I tried to clean it off a bit, but I didn't see any sort of identifying marks. But I also didn't know exactly what to look for, but it does seem to be one of the ones where it's a hold open. The issue I'm having is that it's like it doesn't seem to want to swing closed. It seems like it wants to swing open. Is that something that is I can fix through adjustment on the spring mechanism, or is it something else that needs to be adjusted, or does it mean that it's broken?
It sounds like it's possibly broken, because if the orientation of the plate that gets screwed to the floor is 90 degree from where it needs to be, yeah, your door would want to swing open. So it's finding zero in what you and I would call 90 degree, and either open, in either room side A or room side B. So if that plate has been put down out of, and it's not timed correctly, but man, that thing would have to be broken for you to be able to do that. Maybe what they did was it was in hold open position. They removed the screws from the floor, got the door down, took the thing off the door, then remounted it in the closed position. That would explain why it would open.
Now, if you were to, if you were to assume, if I were to say that the door closed position was the 0 degree mark, it does swing 90 degrees positive or negative 90 degrees negative. It swings negative, right? So it'll swing into either room. But going one way, it's a lot harder to push it, and I think it looks like to me like it's actually rubbing on the door jamb. But then the swinging into the positive 90 degrees into the other room, it seems to be okay. But it does swing. It's like once you kind of get it past maybe, probably 15, 25 degrees, it just kind of it just continues to swing out, and it'll like bang on. It doesn't bang on anything because it doesn't hit anything, but it definitely swings out to the point where it's. And so that's why, do you think that's something, unfortunately, one of the screws that's into the floor, when I was looking at it, I tried to pull the screws out from the floor to be able to get a better look, but one of the screws is stripped out, and I didn't have the right tools with me at the time to get that out. And so I think my next steps are to see if I can get that screw out and then get the whole door out and see if there's something there I can work with. And so... does that make any sense? Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling here.
No, you're not rambling. And yes, I mean, if it was me, I would try to get it off the door. I would carefully get it put into a vise with some blocks of wood around the base plate. And I would study the thing and figure out how it works. I mean, it's 19th century technology, so you're not trying to land someone on Mars.
Yeah.
That's what I would do, but it does sound like something's broken, and who knows if it worked before it was even touched. It may have been problematic from the start.
Well, the homeowner does say that it worked prior to these movers taking the door, and the assembly out, right? So it sounds like they just pulled the screws out of the floor, moved the whole door out of the way, moved the other furniture in, and then put everything back. And that's why I was thinking something got, they either installed something wrong. As far as it looks like the plate is not a square. It looks like it's a rectangle. So it's not like, I don't think that they installed the plate like at a 90 degrees off center. But I'm not 100% certain about that. So I can. But,
you're right. The centers of the screws in an X and a Y are not the same, but they may be close enough where it has been put in that way. But it's on. I mean, when you look at the instructions, that would be obvious that the screws aren't even remotely in the center of where they would normally be.
Okay.
I've not. These parts do wear, is the bottom line, and it's the bird's mouth shaped piece of metal that's down there that kind of gets worn out. I mean, decades, right? Eisenhower was president when this was installed.
My guess. It's definitely decades old.
Yeah, and it would not be unusual that the problem you and I have is we can't put the correlation between what they did, reinstalling it. For all we know, they could have dropped that door, or done more to it than was obvious. You would, but physical damage should be reasonably obvious.
Okay. Is the only adjustment that circular, I don't know, lack of a better term, nut that you put the little metal rod into the circles and turn? Is that the only adjustment on it?
Yeah, that's called a tension collar, and
tension collar.
That is the only thing you can do is add pre-compression to that spring. Compress it further when it's in the closed position. Okay.
I'll now that I have a lot more information, I've never seen one of these prior to pulling this door apart. She just mentioned that her door wasn't working properly. She said it was stuck open, and when I got the thing apart, it looked like it was. I was able to get it to close, positive 90 degrees or negative 90 degrees, but there's definitely a lot more difficulty getting it to open in the negative 90 degree range. So, okay, thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. I found your company by YouTube actually, so which is funny. So
I'd like to know how
very helpful videos.
So thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and you have a good one.
Same to you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, let's see if we can just expand a little on what the conversation was about there. And what I have on my desk here is a 7802. So if you go to the next part of this video, I'll show you where to find details. This is a 7802 because it's a lighter spring rate, so I can actually turn it by hand. So this is not from the mid-20th century. This is a modern unit. And in the conversation, I talked about the possibility of putting the plate on so that it was out of timing. And I don't know that you can or cannot. But you still should be able to fit screws in if you're about 2 3/16. And over here, yeah, you can see the idea that it's possible to get screws probably fit in. So this is what it should look like. Now if I take that and I crank it over to a hold open position, if they put it back, well, I don't think that they really could because of how that's sticking out. Oh, you know what though? The 7811, 7812, 1314, the 781314 HDs, the 7801 and 02 have the cover on it that has the feature to it that flares out. So yeah, the theory still is applicable because it looks like you could actually do that. The plate is twisted, so if they open the door, pull the screws out, then put the door back into the closed position and rehung it, I think it's possible. But at the end of the day, what you're really studying for, and what I'm encouraging this client to kind of look for, is worn out pieces and parts. You know, what in here could be worn. Now, this does not feature the tension collar that the client mentioned, and I will don't want to get your finger caught in there. I will show you that where the tension collar is. But let's move to the next part, and hopefully this will elucidate what we're talking about a little bit further. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, so here's the 7811 that we have, and I don't know if the client has this, but I'm imagining he does, because he clearly indicated that he has a tension collar, and there it is. And all that does is add preload to the spring. But these plates are flat, whereas the 7802 is going to feature plates that have that fendered flare feature to it like this. Okay, so hard to say what the client actually has, but nonetheless. So you're studying for wear and tear. The template, I was referring to the dimensions here. You can see the center to center here and here are pretty close. So I've never heard of anyone installing it that way, and it shouldn't work at all that way. But I think the best advice was for the client to simply take it apart and study it. Like I said, it's 19th century technology. Technology is probably a lot older than that. It's probably Greek technology or Egyptian technology. And you're just looking for something that seems obvious in terms of not being right. And maybe what the client can do is watch this video and compare what he has to this. And then I talked about finding all of the other items. Well, there's a table. So in the website, it's 7811-whatever, really. I'm just doing 633 for satin brass. When you click on that, you'll be able to pull up the table. So, hold open feature. Yes, 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 no, 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 yes, yes. So you can see how the part numbers change. The weight, 90 pound, 35 pound, 150 pound. And the other columns you can kind of study as you need. So hopefully this is of some help to someone, and thank you very much. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.